have to say, gentlemen, I want people to say, have you been to Northern Manhattan? They have a fantastic model of addressing health disparities. The way that you guys refer to Cincinnati, don't you guys want people to say we have to go to Northern Manhattan?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I will shamelessly do a shout out for Dad and Baby back there. I am so happy to see you taking care of Baby. It's fantastic. All right. So moving on along the spectrum of life. I would like for us to switch topics to talk about senior citizens. North Manhattan is home to thousands of senior citizens, many with chronic diseases, and in fixed limited incomes. What are some specific steps you would take to create opportunities for seniors to have more opportunities for exercise, access to good nutrition, and creating an age-friendly environment? And we're going to start with Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, I think that as we look at our seniors, it is taking almost what has worked, what has made sense, and if you look at some of the best senior programs in the city of New York, they have wellness components to them. They have mental health services, you know, the ideas of loneliness and so many other things that impact on our seniors go untreated. And so I think that the first thing is we look at senior centers, as we look at the opportunities there, it is bringing a wellness component in. It is not just the old, you know, lets our seniors go and sit around and just and spend time together. There are exercise programs within our senior centers. There's healthier foods that are being served within our centers. All of that makes a lot of sense. And if we bring that in, and also, again, this is an opportunity, and particularly through Medicare funding, to be able to have a serious health component, and as I've said, a mental health component tied into our senior centers. It works. Some of the centers I've seen across the city of New York really create, you know, it works well. Creating additional opportunities for meal programs also work, and some of the centers that work also provide additional meals, not just a lunch, a breakfast, a dinner, real opportunity at healthier foods for our seniors. And then we also talked before, it was mentioned, you know, food deserts. And we need to be able to improve that also, using some of the tax facility. If you look at the New Markets Tax Credit Program, that can help to create supermarkets within neighborhoods. All those things.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson. Thank you so much.
Well, one of the things that are very needed among the senior citizen community is the nutrition. I'm running one of the biggest food pantry in my church. We serve over 1,000 people every week. And it's unbelievable to see how many people from the senior citizens community comes, and they do such an effort to come actually to the church to get the food that they need. So we had to bring the breakfast, we had to bring the lunches back, and el queso. We need the cheese back in New York City, and we're gonna bring that cheese back. Everybody remember about the cheese, right? How many of you remember about the cheese? We have to bring it back. Those are the kind of program that I want to concentrate. There's so many entitlement in this city and politicians fighting for funding, but most of these programs, they are non-fungible. As a pastor myself, never has taken a grant from the city to provide services for my community. But many programs are just non-fungible. A program that will always be functional is food, because people eat it one way or other, and we have to concentrate on that. About senior citizen, my father, I mentioned him, he came to New York in 1926, he passed away 2 weeks ago, and I know how important it is to provide this service. They shouldn't be fighting for it. They should have it over there and nobody should tamper with it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Salgado, and I'm really sorry about your loss.
Thank you.
I am as well, and I want to thank Reverend Salgado for running his program at no cost to taxpayers. I want to find a way to help you expand that program all throughout the city.
The food comes from the food bank, that's the only thing, but everything else is provided by the city, and I'm more than willing to expand it. That's my heart.
That's great. And you know what? I think that we need to update some of our cost models that are being applied in the city of New York. When it comes to food costs in the senior centers and the kinds of reimbursement levels that the Department for the Aging gives to senior centers, I think that it's just inadequate. And they're fooling themselves. They make up these numbers in terms of usage and the number of meals being provided, when we know in so many senior centers, the number of people who are coming for meals vastly outnumbers the number of meals that are allotted for that center. let's take a look at this. Food actually doesn't cost that much. When the center's open already, if you've got the staff there, let's provide the additional marginal cost that would require to actually feed all the seniors that are looking for nutritious meals. And the other thing that we have to look at is the provision of meals to seniors who are not able to make it to the centers themselves. We have continuing Meals on Wheels programs that have been the subjects of budget dances and cuts in recent years. We've got to restore those kinds of programs and make sure that the seniors are not only getting their meals, but also getting the human visit every single day to ensure that they have some kind of contact with the outside world and that
Thank
they
you
are
so
okay.
much, Mr. Controller. Thank you so much. Mr. Carrion?
I'll be very brief. I agree with what John said, and I do want to emphasize one point, which I would do as mayor, which is we need to stop this kabuki dance that we engage in every year. Every year, the executive presents a budget with severe cuts, serious cuts to senior services, to food, to youth services, to libraries, and he knows or she knows, whoever's sitting there, full well that they have no intention of actually going all the way through with all of the cuts, but they set themselves up with the opportunity to go through this dance and maybe, if need be, use the knife. The city council then comes back, you all get stressed out and worried about how are we going to paste this thing together. All the service providers around the city, you know, it's probably really bad for the environment, right? We all march down to City Hall, we go back, we bring buses, we have press conferences, a lot of paper gets used, a lot of hot air gets put out into the environment that probably is unsustainable and irresponsible. And at the end of the day, we're not doing this in the right way. And the moral obligation that we have is to take care of the aged in our city and in our society. And I'll give a plug for this just as I close on the 90th second. We need to crack the code on assisted living residences. It's got to be affordable to New Yorkers.
Thank you, Mr. Carrion. Mr. Albanese?
All good points. The city council and the mayor play this game every single year. I've called for the elimination of member items where certain council members get more money for senior programs than others because the speaker likes them, or if the speaker doesn't like you, you don't get as much money. All these great programs should be baselined into the budget so we eliminate this nonsense every single year. And most of the cuts are focused on senior programs, youth programs, things that are essential and not very expensive, by the way. I represented an area in Brooklyn for 15 years with a tremendous senior citizen population. We had great senior programs there, social workers in those places, and worked with the seniors, and they sponsored different programs, activities for them, and that we need to make sure that those programs are kept in place. Meals on Wheels are important for the human contact, not only the food. And also we had two great senior assisted living facilities, one built by Catholic Charities, another built by a hospital, and we need to go to Washington. I want to be a mayor that goes to Washington and lobbies the federal government to bring back some of the funding for assisted living facilities. HUD has cut back dramatically, and more and more seniors are going to be in our population going forward. We're an aging society, so we need those programs, and they make an awful lot of sense. We know what works. We've got to fund it, and I plan on doing that as mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Albanese.